This video covered the even problems on page 215 and 216. So what we are doing is we are raising an exponent to another exponent. And when we do that, we multiply the exponents together. So x to the a times b. So we've done adding and subtracting, where you just combine the coefficients. We've done multiplying, where you add the exponents. Dividing, where you subtract the exponents. Now you do an exponent to an exponent, which means you multiply the exponents together. So if we look at number 2, we're going to leave negative 15 in parentheses. 6 times 3 is 18. So negative 15 to the 18th. Number 4, you leave the 2. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. So 2 to the negative 8, we need to write that then as 1 over 2 to the 8th. Negative exponents always go to the bottom of a fraction. Number 6, 3 to the negative 3. 3 times negative 1. So 1 over 3 to the 3rd. So the base, the big number, stays the same. Multiply the exponents. Same thing if you have variables. So the a stays at a. 2 times 7 is 14. You don't need the parentheses around the a anymore. The only time you need the parentheses is like we did with number 2, because it was a negative number. For number 10, we have 2 different things. You just do each thing separately. So c to the 4th, I'm going to do this, d squared to the 4th. So we would have c to the 4th, d to the 8th. Okay? If you can just remember to do them each on their own, 4 times 1 gives us 4, 2 times 4 gives us 8. It's just like distributing. So for 12, we multiply x to the positive 28, y to the positive 14. Now, when you have a number, so a coefficient, to an exponent, you do these separately. So if you can remember to do each thing separately, but it's not 5 times 3, it's 5 to the 3rd power. So I would take the time to do 5 to the 3rd and to the 4th to the 3rd. So 5 to the 3rd is 125, and multiply to get 12. So not 5 times 3, 5 to the 3rd power. And then you multiply your exponents. So same thing for 16. If you can remember to just do 4 to the 4th, that's great. If you get 16 though, you're going to be incorrect. So if you want to take the extra time to write out 4 to the 4th, to remind yourself, that's probably a good idea. 4 to the 4th, w to the negative 7th to the 4th. So it just takes a little bit extra time to do it that way. So that gives us 256 w to the negative 28th. So again, that negative exponent needs to go to the bottom. 256 over w to the positive 28th. Same thing here. We have negative 7 in parentheses squared, a to the 8th squared, b to the 3rd squared. So obviously, again, that's more work. If you can remember to do negative 7 squared and get positive 49, you can do that. So you have to remember to put the negative 7 in parentheses if you're going to type it in. You should know that negative 7 times negative 7 gives us a positive 49. And then 8 times 2 gives us a to the 16th. 3 times 2 gives us b to the 6th. Number 20, same thing. Negative 3 to the 3rd m to the negative 2 to the third, n to the negative 5th to the third. So negative 3 to the third is negative 27, m to the negative 6, n to the negative 15. Here you have to be very careful. The negative 27 stays on top. It's a negative number, not a negative exponent. So negative 27 over m to the 6th, n to the 15th. When you have a whole big parenthesis to a negative exponent, I recommend putting that whole thing on the bottom. Most of the time, if people try to do this without doing that, they get either negative 8 or negative 16 when they do 2 to the negative 4th. That is incorrect. So I recommend putting it down like that, or if you do 2 to the negative 4th, as long as you get it as a fraction, you can do that. So 1 over 2 to the 4th is 16, a to the 20th, b to the negative 8th. So if a negative exponent's on the bottom, now it needs to move to the top. So b to the 8th over 16a to the 20th. (24). You have to take care of this exponent before you can multiply. So negative 4 to the third gives us negative 64 a to the 6th times 2a to the 7th. So negative 128, multiply your coefficients, add your exponents. Negative 128 a to the 13th. You have two different options for 26. You can distribute the 4 to everything. I would recommend putting your like terms together. So x times x is going to be x to the negative 5th, because we add our exponent, y to the positive 7, all to the 4th power. So x to the negative 20, y to the 28th, so the x needs to go to the bottom, y to the 28th over x to the 20th. (28), you need to do this exponent before you can divide. So 12 squared is 144, c to the 6th, d to the 14th, over 18, c to the 8th, d to the 10th. (144) over 18 gives me 8. C to the negative 2. Now we're subtracting our exponents. D to the 4th. So our C needs to go to the bottom. 8D to the 4th over C to the 2nd is your final answer. For 30, since you're subtracting, you need to have like terms. Your variables need to match with their exponents. So 4 to the third is 64, a to the 24th, b to the 6th, minus 3 squared is 9, a to the 24th, b to the 6th. So now that these match, you just do 64 minus 9 gives us 55, a to the 24th, b to the 6th.